What good YouTube, and welcome to the house. I just finished working out on the elliptical. I look down at my phone and I see people complaining about they're taking a broken zombie fusion. I have not read it yet though, so this is a React Andy Snake, Ghost, and Baryons generic reptile support, Ghost Fusion, and Nash all get a little something something. 20-second premium pack. So could this be what our Ghost from the past to my container? Will this end up somewhere else? Generic Reptile sounds super interesting though, and we start out with the Black Mamba Kobe, level 3 Dark Reptile effect monster, attack 1300, defense 1000. You can only special summon with the first effect of this card's name once per turn. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. If you control a reptile monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. That's a pretty good darn extender effect. If this card is normal or special summoned, target one monster your opponent controls, send one reptile from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, change the targeted monster's battle position. It's an and if you do so, you get a foolish burial. And the later part, I'd have to ask Distant Coder, can you activate this if you can't change the battle position? It's an and if you do, but you should be able to resolve. So I assume you have to be able to turn it to defense, but maybe you can get away with it. Let me know in the comment section down below. I would think you have to be able to change it, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Is overly complicated. This is a pretty good extender card with a really good effect for reptiles. And now we have Urubonus, the Avatar of Malice. That's a mean reptile. Level 5 Dark Reptile effect monster, attack 2000, defense 800. You can only use the first and third effect of this card's name once per turn each. You can tribute a reptile monster and special summon this from your hand, so that's how you get it out. All monsters your opponent controls lose a whopping 300 attack and defense. Good for you. You can tribute one monster. All face-up monsters your opponent control currently loses attack and defense equal to the tributed monster's original attack and defense till the end of the turn. So further doing that, but you would already tribute one and then another. I feel like there's a way better use of your resources. This, much more Pog-U. This, I'm kind of sleeping a little. I guess there could be things where you tribute and you get the effect off of it, but I don't know. Lamia, the waifu tax appears depending on what you're into. Level 4 Dark Reptile effect monster, attack 1300, defense 1500. You can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. If this card is normal or special, I like that, by the way, when you can do both, you can add the one level 8 reptile monster from your deck to the hand. I dig it. If this card becomes banished, you can target a reptile monster you control. It cannot be destroyed by card effects till the end of the next turn. So resources on top of later positive effects, that is what you want to see in generic support that tries to go further on later. Just Lamia, like, that's, I guess, the type of beast. Could have given the gal a name. Next up, we have Venomous Snake's Grudge, or Viper's Grudge, a continuous trap card. You can use the second and third effect of this card's name once per turn each. Non-reptile monsters you control cannot attack or activate their effects. So kind of that Golden Land effect. If a face-up reptile monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one level 4 or lower reptile from your deck. I like that you're able to do this yourself. It does not say by an opponent's card effect, just leaves the field. You can do that, right? Destroyed by battle, or sent, not and sent. That is a very important wording. Whenever I react Andy, I try to double read to make sure I don't get out of line. Or sent. That is pretty strong to be able to get those kinds of resources. And I believe you have Offering to the Snake Deity, which could also be used in combination with this. If this card in the Spell and Trap Zone is destroyed, you can return all your banished reptile monsters to the graveyard. Resource extravaganza. Wow, what a trap to actually go. A lot of it is very interesting generic reptile support. These are actually really good updates and kind of feels like what zombies have going for them, right? With all that generic support. Now we have Hellfire Spearman, Ghost Lancer, Viz version, Ghost Lancer, the Underworld Spearsman. Level 5 Dark Zombie effect, speaking of zombies, here we are. And we've got 2000 attack, 0 defense, level 5. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Wow, that's an effect I don't think I've read in a little bit of a while. Cannot be destroyed by battle, except with a monster special summoned from the extra deck. The greatest of ease to achieve, depending on what you're playing. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing. That was a little underwhelming overall. Alright, this almost looks like Skull Servant support. We have Hellfire Sleeping Beauty or Ghost Sleeper. These don't have names that go... Well, just Ghost kind of goes with each other, right? So maybe archetypal. A level 3 Dark Zombie effect monster, attack 1300. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn each. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a Ghost Fusion. That's the card people are crying about from your deck to your hand. During your main phase, except during the turn this was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then discard a card, target one of your banished level 4 or higher zombie monsters, and add it to your hand. So going with that theming of zombies of being all too fair, having to do another card for the effect, for the trade, for the resource, but yet you want zombies in the graveyard, not a bad card at all, depending on what Ghost Fusion does do, and if people are crying, then it's probably pretty good. Ghost Weaver, wow, that looks really badass. Ghost Dragons are pretty darn awesome in anime. Level 4 Dark Zombie effect monster, attack 1700, defend 0. You can only use the first and second card effect once per turn. You can only use the first and second effect, so not each. It's like each of them are hard once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Ghost Fusion from your deck to your hand, so this is getting pretty easy. During the end phase, if this card was banished this turn, you can take one level 2 or lower zombie tuna monster from your deck, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. But end phase, the slow game once again, plagued by this is generically good, but it's going to take some time. Ghost Fusion, alright. Fusion in the name. Verte Band. Well, you can only activate one card with this card name per turn. Fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as fusion materials. Only zombie monsters may use as the fusion material of this effect. So it's monsters you control. If your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can banish a zombie monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard as material. So it's already banished too, which most of the time you want it in the graveyard. Is that really that broken? It's just a, it's a card where you're still using what you're using and you're going into a fusion. I don't think that's all that busted. Zombies would probably rather Super Poly still with Zombie World. It's still a decent card, don't get me wrong. A lot of cards search it for free, but I'm crying over Verte again. Wah, card with fusion prison. Wah. This ain't it. Just like the Albaz fusion, I feel like it's better on its own than with Verte. You really are gonna use your last summon on this and then cry? I don't know about that one, guys. Numbers Evale, a normal spell card. If your opponent controls a monster special summoned from the extra deck, choose 4 number Xyz monsters with different ranks in your extra deck. Add the numbers in all their names together and special summon a number Xyz monster from your extra deck with a number in its name equal to the result. And if you do, attach all the chosen monsters as materials, but you cannot special summon monsters while you control it except number Xyz monsters. What the heck? So it's not even from the extra deck. You can't special summon, period, making it kind of the final boss monster. You have to plan this out specifically, so I'm sure people are already labbing as this video is going up of what do we combine, how do we break this in. Your opponent has to control a special summon monster from the extra deck, so you can't just hand them Silent Lobby or something. Interesting overall card that relies on your opponent. This looks like the rank up 7th one, but in a trap. Reincarnation of the 7th Emperor's normal trap card. If your Xyz monster that is a number monster with a number between 101 and 107 in its name, or has such a monster as materials battles, that's 2 different things. During damage calculation, banish it and any materials attached to it. Also during the end phase, when you activate this card, special summon 1 rank 3 or lower Xyz monster from the extra deck, except the number monster, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. That's kind of a roundabout anime-like thing going on. So if your Xyz monster that is a number has to be these numbers, or have them as a mat, during damage calculation, you banish your own monster, not the opponent's monster or anything, and then in phase you summon something and burn. Why do some of these just feel like, I don't know, letdowns a bit? Maybe I'm missing something. Rebirth of the 7 Emperors, normal trap card. Then it was, oh, Reincarnation, Rebirth. Oh boy. Oh boy. Normal trap card, tribute all Xyz monsters, so you have to have 1, then target one of your banished Xyz monsters, special summon it, then you can attach number Xyz monsters between 101 and 107 in their names that are banished, and or in your graveyard up to the number of tributed +1 as materials. During the end phase of this turn, you activate this card. Each player takes 300 damage for each card in their hand. More burn, more things going on, more loopy-like stuff. Seems okay, seems better than the other card. Xyz Bento, so that's a lunchbox if you didn't know. If a monster or monsters your opponent control is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, target an Xyz monster you control, attach one monster from your opponent's graveyard as a material. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target one monster special summon from the extra deck, change its battle position. Well, as a trap, that's either player's turn, but that's specifically something that's not a link monster, I suppose. All right, overall, I think I'm least excited about the number support, but maybe there's something crazy with this. The zombie stuff is okay. The reptiles actually seem to be winning here, but if this is Ghost from the past, that's it. So let me know if you guys know where this is going in the TCG, but being released here in December, we don't really have a selection 9, 10, whatever that was to replace in Ghost. This might be it, which isn't the most exciting prospect so far, but I am enjoying the reptiles out the gate. Let me know what you guys think. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation, and I do always like to see good reptile and zombie stuff, and maybe they'll make more generic stuff that actually hits a home run for the stuff that needs it. Looking at you, pyro monsters with pain.